The other big hallmark case, obviously, is still also ongoing, so tell me what you can about it. But, with the re-election of now President-elect Donald Trump, he was also at the center of the election indictment. What do you do now? Because we've got this Supreme Court precedent now that says sitting presidents really can't be charged for some of the things that they did in office. With him now having the protection of the White House, how do you proceed as it relates to just his portion of this case?
I'm not going to talk to you about a case. Let me talk to you about a young lawyer and a lawyer that's got a little age on her. When I became a lawyer, I believe that all the smartest people were the judges, right? That's who rose to the top. I've been a little disheartened as I've gone on to practice law. But what I can tell you about me as a district attorney, I didn't indict anyone who I did not believe committed a crime in any case. And all of our more serious felony cases were indicted because a grand jury decided that there was enough evidence there to indict them. And so it is our plan, if someone has an indictment in this office, no matter who they are, we continue to pursue those charges. I can't be responsible for what judges and what courts will do. That will be decisions that they make, but I hope we get to see a little courage in leaders, and that young lawyer from 30 years ago will continue to believe in the judicial system, because we'll see courageous decisions.
Yeah, and you mentioned no matter who it is. What about no matter how long it takes? Is that something that you think about too?
I'm patient. That's what age teaches you, is patience. I've been patient in the way we do our work. And that goes back to those indictments we talked about when we first started. It was very frustrating, right? You want to get through this backlog, you want to do everything, but you cannot do the work at the risk of not looking at the facts, not looking at the evidence. And so we patiently plowed through, and we will continue to patiently plow through to seek justice. And, I'm here for 8 more years is my plan. And so if that's what it takes for us to get justice in some cases, we come to work every day. We'll come to work and look for justice.
Bad news for Fani Willis, as it's expected that her case is set to come to a close, meaning that she's not going to have to wait 8 more years for the conclusion of President-elect Trump's legal troubles. Now, you got to admire just how strong her Trump derangement syndrome is in order to just keep going after Trump, right? That TDS syndrome is real, right? Even though most of the other charges against him are now dead in the water, which leads a lot of people to believe that Fani's case is next. This means that no matter what Fani Willis says, she's not going to have much of a choice but to let this go. Watch.
What makes people believe this case will be dropped?
Well, good morning, Joey. Right now, the case sits with the Georgia Court of Appeals. And just this week, they're supposed to have oral arguments on the defense's motion to have Fani Willis recused from the case for a variety of misconduct. And without any warning, without any apparent motion, and without any explanation, the Court of Appeals just removed, that is, canceled that oral argument. And so there's speculation that they are getting ready to just rule based on the briefs instead of requiring oral argument. And if they're not requiring oral argument, they've probably made up their mind. And I'm guessing that the election has something to do with it.
Yeah, we all saw the riveting, we've televised it live here on Fox, the riveting case where Fani Willis's relationship with Nathan Wade was highlighted and showing where she might have, for lack of a better term, been exposed to malpractice in bringing these charges. So are we looking at a situation where she, as the prosecutor, is removed and thus the case goes away unless another prosecutor picks it up? Or is it the merits of the case itself could have it thrown out?
Well, Joey, if she gets recused, then the case simply gets removed from her office, because if she's conflicted out, her entire office is conflicted out.
And this is exactly what others are saying about this case. Sources claim that Fani Willis could be kicked off the case by a body that's investigating it, either that or by the state Supreme Court. Now, one local defense lawyer was quoted by the Post saying that Fani Willis doesn't see how she's headed for a brick wall. She's going full tilt with vengeance and emotions. She's still so full of herself and hasn't learned her lesson yet. She doesn't realize that she is her own demise and she's the reason everything's falling apart. And that's true. She brought over lover boy Nathan Wade to her office. She paid him almost $1 million between 2022 and 2023. So much more than any other practitioner in her office. Did she think that this wouldn't be suspicious? And to top it off, she hired Nathan Wade, who had no prior experience with felony cases, to be the special prosecutor in Trump's case.
Fani Willis's lover boy, Nathan Wade, might be the hardest working lawyer in America. Nathan allegedly billed taxpayers for 24 hours of work on the Trump Georgia case in a single day. That means Nathan was working all day and all night on Fani's case. What would Loverboy be working on past midnight? He wouldn't be billing Fani. No, he couldn't be. I'm sure he was just burning the midnight oil at the office. Loverboy's billed nearly $700,000. Is he making more than the lawyers who aren't sleeping with Fani? Is he making more because he's more qualified than they are? Or is the lover just working harder? Let's ask Fani.
I appointed 3 special counsel, as is my right to do. Paid them all the same hourly rate. They only attacked one.
False, Fani. We have the docs. You're paying Loverboy $500,000 more than the other prosecutors, and he's billing $100 more an hour. So what are the Loverboy's credentials anyway?
Guys, wasn't it them that attacked this lawyer of impeccable credentials? Is it that some will never see a black man as qualified, no matter his achievements? What more can one achieve?
Well, the race card isn't going to get you out of this one, Fani. We found Loverboy's resume. Impeccable? Not a word I'd use to describe Nathan Wade's credentials. Some of his highest profile cases involve car accidents. Loverboy represented a lady who was rear-ended by a beer truck. He tried getting her $300,000 for emotional and physical damages, but the case was dismissed. Loverboy's a piranha in small claims court. He represented an electronics store who claimed the customer owed him $11,000 for some speakers. Wade won that one. And his biggest court victory of all time, Nathan Wade helped 2 people get their names changed.
Now, of course, we know that these two had something going on behind the scenes. This ultimately led Nathan Wade to being removed from the case because Fani Willis wouldn't give up her seat, meaning that it's had setback after setback, which can all be traced back to Fani Willis herself. But her ego just cannot accept the fact that she lost. Now, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves here, but it is possible that she plays her ace, much like what she's done in this case. She might play the race card yet again, arguing that this is all happening because of the color of her skin, even though it's been proven time and time again that the race had nothing to do with this case at all. So she can act as tough as she wants with the media, but legal experts and political commentators alike, they're expecting for the legal issue here to be gone before Trump steps back into the White House, which is likely the least of their worries as the border is preparing for a mass influx of illegal immigrants. With the Biden-Harris administration loosening guardrails at the U.S.-Mexico border, it's expected to receive thousands of people right before January 2025. Guys, I covered this in a previous video that you absolutely have to check out right after this one. As always, thanks so much for hitting the like button and subscribing. Check out this video coming up here or a playlist down below, and we'll see you guys on the next one.